I mean, it just come down for him to where, I mean, he had moments where he was indecisive. Yeah, he probably did miss a couple touchdown passes, but you have to realize, man, for him, it's new. He's finally getting the opportunity to get some playing time in the system. So it's like you got to look at it in that sense too, to why he's a little hesitant to what he actually sees. But if he ever gets that confidence, though, the league in trouble.
Welcome to another session with them Dennis boys on this Whiskey Wednesdays. You got your boy B.
Debo.
EJ.
We're going to start out talking about, this preseason game that just passed versus the Rams where, we lost another close one. But for the most part, we saw a lot of good things, saw some bad things. But what y'all guys think about it, man? Off the rip, we're going to start talking about with the, that first drive with Cooper Rush on offense.
I mean, we didn't really have much to look at. I mean, he got one drive, drove down the field, he didn't turn the ball over. That's normally what I care about. Everybody got their dinks and dunks and, getting down the field. So, I mean, you can't complain with that because, he got 3 points out of the situation. So, I mean, look, it's decent to me. So,
yeah, I'm assuming it was treating him like the first backup quarterback in terms of limiting his play and giving him a series just to see if he knocked that rust off. I think he did a good job getting us down the field. And, pretty much that's what you're going to get out of that. Trey Lance was auditioning from that point forward.
Preseason, they're going to keep things most vanilla and stuff like that for the most part, man. But, we saw a lot of flashes, Jalen Brooks, man. I liked him last year. I thought he should have got some more opportunity. So he had a nice 43-yard play in the first drive. Run game was obsolete.
Non-void.
Non-void, yeah. That wasn't even a topic of discussion apparently in the game plan. So, but for the most part, Cooper Rush, he had a nice first drive, with that first big play with Jalen Brooks, and then, Trey Lance took over from there. He had some up and down moments, man, but, you can credit that to some of his teammates as well, and you can credit some indecisiveness, within, some of the plays he made. I think, sometimes he held the ball too long sometimes, but other times, he put that thing down, he used them feet. We see that's something different.
Right. That's what I like to see, because it's like you see somebody like that who can move and get you out of situations that most quarterbacks can't. Man, that's a good thing to look at. So
or won't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Quarterbacks don't rush like that. He rushed with purpose.
Right. So it's like with me, my take on his performance was he didn't do half bad, because you have to look at it like this. Yes, he threw some high balls. Yes, he threw some low balls. He didn't turn the ball over. That's what you got to look at. Now, your quarterback, who in Dak Prescott, he turns the ball over here and there. So you have to look at it like that. You have a man who went in there, played just about the whole game. He ain't turned the ball over.
He ain't turned the ball
so you gotta,
over. And he threw the ball 41 times.
Right, so he gave his defense a chance. He gave his defense a chance the whole game. Gave defense a chance, and we was in the situation to still be in the game at the end of the game. So that's my take.
Well,
go ahead, sir.
I'm not going to give him as much shine as you guys did based on one performance. I'd like to see him repeat that, but I will say that I was pleasantly surprised by what I saw. When I say surprised, put emphasis on that, because personally I didn't have a lot of expectations for Trey Lance. And I might be a minority in saying that, but based on what I saw, his timing was pretty good. He connected well with his receivers. When he had to run, like you guys alluded to, he did a good job on that. The speed is no denying that. His escapability is no denying that. All in all, I would give him a B for his performance, which is not bad based on a first outing for him, especially in light of seeing him throw the ball 40 plus times. That's nothing to sneeze at. I'll give him a B for that, gentlemen.
And that's a solid grade. That's accurate, And to throw the ball that many times and not to turn it over is good. We saw him put together some pretty good drives, and for the most part, in the second half, he was getting that momentum going, but some of his receivers were coming up short. They were, making any plays for him, especially in key spots when he was starting to get, some type of momentum going. You drop those passes, man, that can do something to the confidence of the whole offense, let alone the quarterback.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that point up because when he was going to get going, the receiver started dropping the ball, and I was like, man, that was really the drive he needed to get where he probably needed to be in terms of confidence. But I just think that they dropped the ball on that, and I was like, man, he got to get going.
But yeah, he did miss a couple good.
I saw an air of familiarity with that in terms of dropping balls. We have a starting quarterback that goes through the same thing, but another point.
I like that. No, 2 drops in a row like that.
Right.
No, I mean that was just bad.
So it just come down for him to where he had moments where he was indecisive. Yeah, he probably did miss a couple touchdown passes, but you have to realize, man, for him it's new. He's finally getting the opportunity to get some playing time in the system. So it's like you got to look at it in that sense too, to why he's a little hesitant to what he actually sees. But if he ever gets that confidence, though, the league in trouble. The league is in trouble.
And I can't not go any further without at least mentioning that bad play call.
Right.
Call trying to force the ball to drop it. We was on the 4-yard line, maybe.
Yeah.
Might have been the 3.
And running the ball successfully. He admitted after the game that it was a bad call. He wish he had a do-over. But as a head coach, you can't do that.
And also, too, man, we as fans, we wanted to see what our offensive line had to get. We got some new pieces down there. So let's see man to man what we going to do in those situations. And they robbed us from that situation. Like, we could have seen what our line could have brought us in those situations coming into the season.
And to that point, and to your point, they had been doing a damn good job up to that point. So why would you want to deviate from that?
Right.
Blocking, opening up lanes. Zeke found some lanes. You got to give your offensive line a chance, man. Why would you?
It's bad. Yeah.
But I feel to the Trey Lance point again, like all those different wrinkles that y'all bringing up. Like, this is a new offense, this is a new scene. The interchange the pieces around them, let alone the receivers. Like, they targeted 15 different receivers. You know what I'm saying? And most of them had at least 2. So
right.
That's tough in a new system with new people around you, inconsistent line that's mixed up of all 3 levels within the depth chart. So
that's a tough pass to throw in that situation.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Why would you put your quarterback in that situation or your wide receiver? That's a touch pass. And you cannot in traffic, he was covered.
Yeah.
But like I said too, it goes to show too that the fact that he didn't turn the ball over in these situations tell you that he has some poise, because throwing the ball that many times in a game for any quarterback, you bound to make a mistake. So it's like you got to give him that credit. So I'm saying, and to know you're being tested by your coaching staff or the organization that you're with. To me, that's impressive.
My point in bringing that up was less on the quarterback and the receiver than it was on the coach. The bottom line is that was a bad damn call.
It's
for sure.
To go around, but yeah, that call right there, you keep it simple, man. Especially the preseason, man.
Especially preseason. Especially when you don't have no points on the board.
If you had a nice
And-
drive like that,
You got
reward.
nothing on the board but field goals. Come on.
And let's add the fact that Trey Lance drove down the field just about every time down the field, every possession that he was in.
True that.
You can't take that away from him. Because we think about it, we went for in certain situations, and we didn't get it in certain situations, but we drove down the field literally across the pass to 50 every time.
Facts.
Yeah, I got to give it to him. He did keep a lot of drives alive that I thought were dead. So
Right.
Give him props on that.
Yeah, you gotta give him props for that for sure, man. But I really would like to see him with the first team. Like
Me too. Me too.
That would really tell me where he at with it, because it would give him a little more leeway. And even you know some of his accuracy was a little off a little bit, but when you with the first team guys, the accuracy can be a little whatever. As we see with Lamar Jackson, it ain't always spot on.
I think we'll get a little taste of a game 3 of the preseason, so it's cool. I think we'll get to see it. That's when the starters.
This whole preseason, you don't think he's gonna touch the field?
No, he'll touch the field. He probably get 1 or 2 touches to the field, but I feel like they want to see also what he gonna do with the ones. So I feel like he'll probably get one possession with him just to see. Right. You know what I mean? So
let that come in the first drive and let Trey
and just see what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? So it's walking up to it. It's walking up to it.
Brandon, let who come in?
Huh?
And let who come in? One drive.
Let Dak come in on the first drive with the first team. However it plays out.
So you pretty much
come in the following drive.
Pretty much excluding your second string quarterback out of this. I haven't heard you mention.
That's unknown, sir. We don't know.
Don't know.
We don't know.
But you got to give him the reps, though, right?
You got to give him the reps. This is new to him. Cooper Rush did this. He didn't need no reps.
He didn't have many reps on Sunday.
I'm gonna be real with you. This really a bad situation for Cooper Rush for him to be getting those kind of exposure, because when you get that kind of exposure, you see the good. So when you seeing the good, you like, well, okay, he's young, he's 23, you're 30. You still got some growing to do. You're at the end of your career, so. But I mean, you still the second string quarterback, so you got to look at it like that too. It's different ways you look at it.
Yeah,
right.
You can also look at the fact that he got what we said one drive. All right.
Yeah, one drive.
You're talking about an incumbent second string quarterback who won 6 games for you last year. So you're just going to push that out to the side and just say it didn't exist.
We're not pushing to the side, but I'm not. I'm also not going to say that Trey Lance couldn't do the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, situations, it's not like Cooper Rush was just doing spectacular things. He would just not turn the ball over. Cool. Well, Trey Lance showed you he ain't turned the ball over either.
Just out of respect alone, Devin. Just out of respect alone, the man is the incumbent second string quarterback on that team. You just can't just push him out to the side as if he didn't do anything for us last year.
I'm not pushing nothing to the side.
He came in and pulled a Nick Foles or something and picked his two.
Exactly.
He ain't did that much.
Now, if he pulled a Nick Foles, that's different.
Yeah, you guys are very pro Trey Lance. I mean, I'm not that guy. You know, he still has to show me some things. But you just cannot disrespect what Cooper Rush. And trust me, I'm not the biggest Cooper Rush fan either. But I gotta respect the job that he did last year. In the instances that he did it, he kept things going for us while Dak was out. You gotta respect that. That's respectable, right there.
Well, let's just say we're in the good hands if Dak did go down, because I feel like either quarterback will probably hold it down. That's how I look at it.
I don't disagree with you there, sir.
So, going into the wide receiver room, how do y'all feel overall with the performance of them, and with CD, contract situation still looming? How do y'all feel about the performance and what you've been hearing out of camp thus far?
I feel like the receivers didn't really showcase what they've been showcasing in practice. I feel like in practice, they was, getting open and making tough catches. And to me, they wasn't really open. The windows was very small. Yeah, they had to jump up a little bit to catch some passes, but to show what I've seen in the training camp, I didn't really see that on the field. It didn't really translate. And I feel like we need to see next game. Maybe it was butterflies, but maybe next game they will show us they can get open. And I was very disappointed too that Billy Johnson didn't get his shine. They ain't let that man play not one snap on offense. That's crazy. Hey, but he's shining in practice.
Yeah, that's all I've been hearing. His name.
I feel based on what we saw, like I said, I gave Trey Lance a B for his performance. Moving on down to the wide receiver performance, I'm going to have to give them an incomplete there. Not enough information to make a determination or a grade. Ask me again after the Saturday's game, and then I'll better be prepared to make a decision in terms of how I grade them. I didn't see enough from them, and
not at all.
And it's a lot of situations you have to take into account. New quarterback, different wide receivers. It's not your usual people out there. Granted, that's just a regular preseason game. So based on that, I'm not going to give them an incomplete. I need to see more. I need to get more information with which to make a viable decision on.
And it's really sad to say because we threw the ball so much. So like that was the disappointing part that we're making that statement saying they're getting the incomplete. And we threw the ball a lot. So I'm saying, so y'all didn't really show us anything. And I feel like we should have ran the ball a little more just to see what we had on the ground game. But, go ahead, Bernie.
I'm sorry, Brandon, but did y'all not say that we did get up and down the field?
We did.
So somebody was catching the ball.
They was, but I think that's the credit of the quarterback.
What was the stats on that 40? How many
41, I think completed 25 for 41, 61% for 188 yards.
Over 50% of his passes.
4.6 yards per attempt. Sacked 3 times.
That's a dink and dunk right there.
QBR rating of 72.
Yeah, so that's a lot of stats to hide up in there, that dink and dunk.
But if your receivers aren't getting separations, you got to have confidence in
the factor that in. Have to.
I think, the people who were getting separated was Cropper and, of course, Brooks. Brooks is he different to me. Cropper was showing some promise or whatnot. He could definitely be doing something special for us down the line, but I don't know if we're going to make the cut or not, being that we're so deep. I really like to see Tober get out there eventually and show us a little.
They treat him like he already.
I mean, they say how he been looking. They say he out there looking like Miles Austin.
Yeah, he ain't had no shoulder pads on or nothing. Hey, he ready.
What I read earlier,
What
I read earlier, we got the law firm of Jalen.
That's crazy.
I don't know how many gonna be there when the cuts come, but
hey.
Hope Brooks and Tober to them.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess him not playing solidifies him as the number 3. So
yeah, but the
or
fact
two,
that much opportunity with 41 attempts like that, somebody got to shine, bro. I don't give a damn.
For sure.
Not somebody needs to step up. Like, this is my game.
I did a good job of spreading the ball around. I mean, a lot of people got a lot of looks.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's
I think the tight ends.
Season game.
The tight ends, they're good. The tight ends really real good.
Yeah, they did. And that's
Stevens went 3 for 3. Stevens Jr., man, we've been hearing about him for a couple of years now. So
right.
And which Lance missed a touchdown pass to him on that wheel route.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
So,
but look, I mean, again, let's not overlook the fact that how they was able to get those 40 attempts and whatever misses or catches we got, offensive line shined.
For sure.
Yeah, the line did so. They gave him time to do his thing. You're right, because he was sitting there patting his thing. I was like, you don't see nothing you don't like, but nobody might have been open.
And that was the entire game,
Exactly.
No matter
and when they didn't, what one boy do?
Yeah.
Scramble.
Loose. Got loose.
That's what I like.
Really beaming out there.
Hey, look, we play the Raiders this week.
Uh-huh.
I know they want to make a little statement they own in terms of because they're another team with not a strong identity. Mm-hmm. They're trying to reestablish themselves in a lot of different lights. So they're going to be wanting to make a statement this weekend. So how we'll react to that will be very important in terms of our next show. our next week's Whiskey Wednesday.
Yeah, but the offense is what the question mark is, but that defense, how do y'all feel about that defensive performance that they put up?
I loved it. From the D line to linebackers to the cornerbacks. I feel like everybody did what they were supposed to do. Right. So
I can't agree with that. We were moving. We were everywhere. We covered a lot of territory. We were just all over the place. And I mean, that's what you want to see from the defense. And we were making tackles. There wasn't a lot of people that missed tackles. We did pretty good in that area. And y'all know we are terrible traditionally in terms of missing tackles. We have a lot of almost people on our team. So that was very impressive in terms of their tackling.
Yeah, you definitely can see Zimmerman's impact on his defense. Like the discipline is number one. People playing assignment football, being in the positions where they need to be. And that results in the 4 and 5 interceptions that you get. The energy looks a lot different, man. Everybody looks more focused and locked in. Marquise Bell, he looked like he's gonna be primed to be a major force on this defense. He probably gonna take over Jerron's curse position since we allow him to walk. So it's a lot of talent, especially on that back end, man. And the linebackers are looking real nice too. This is probably one of the best linebacker groups we've had
in a while.
How long?
Yeah, long time. Mm-hmm. Complete linebacker core for sure. But I think I want to give a special shout out to Carson's. They started out in the beginning of the game going at him, but as you seen the game go by, they started throwing to the opposite side of the field, throwing to the middle of the field. They started throwing away from him. So I feel like the jitteries was there. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of shook it, and then he got right. So
he was definitely being tested early on.
Yeah, he was being tested at the beginning of the game. Yeah, but he fell in line. He did what he needed to do. Started focusing. Everybody started going away from him. So I really want to see what he's going to do this year. Like
he became the player we were hearing about throughout the camp thus far as the game went on. So we're going to give him that first few series as a jitters, get that out the way. I look forward to big things from that young man.
Yeah.
And the fact that we did, and the fact that we didn't bring back Stephen Gilmore tells you we could have went back and got him. We still can go back and get him, but if we didn't do it by now, that's a good sign. So
sure. But I mean, we covered
he's still there if needed though.
Yeah, I mean, we're knocking on wood, hoping that nobody get injured, but we really don't need him right now because we said with Trevon back in the fold and Bland is hopefully the same Bland from last year. And then you got J. Lou in the slot. And then Carson is at that reserve that you need, so he can play special teams in the meantime, and then he'll be the reserve just in case,
But man, these soft tissue injuries are
part of the game, part of camp every year.
But you know what? In my opinion, the injuries that are happening comes from, I don't know if you want to call it like a lack of conditioning or I don't even know what to call it because like growing injuries are like, to me, it's just like that's really what you call it. Either just, you ain't really put out your effort to be going hard like you're supposed to. Those kind of growing injuries. Hamstring is different. Hamstring means you going hard, going too hard. But growings, you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do in the off season type thing. So,
I feel.
No, that's just my opinion.
I mean, a lot of these guys, man, they come to camp, man, to get into shape, especially the veterans, man. And they can get them off days, them rest days when they can.
Right.
So I understand. These boys got to put a lot into these bodies, man, to get ready.
For sure.
I mean, it starts out with the OTAs, and then you got one other session where they get together. I don't know.
Voluntary, and involuntary workouts, and all that.
Right.
And then you in the camp. And when you're in the camp, you hit the ground running. There's no getting in shape. I mean, you from day 3, you got pads on and you hitting somebody. So I mean, it's a lot. You like you alluded to, Devin. You got to get in shape to get in shape.
Right. You got to be going full speed.
Yeah, you got that off season is really big. You just can't go to Cancun or the Belize or and just chill and come back and expect to be that guy.
Exactly.
Man, most of these dudes be goddamn cooped up for about a month trying to recover from that season.
Yeah, that too.
That's even a bigger deal, you know.
Surgeries, they little surgeries and procedures they put off all year.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta think about all that too. But I understand. Oh yeah, you mean
I get it. Yeah.
Hey, putting all that stuff, man. Yeah, you need to put the.
And that's one thing right there that concerns me about this holdout with CD. I'm really concerned about him coming back and becoming one of those soft tissue cats.
I didn't want to be the one. I feel the same way.
I'm that guy. Especially
I feel the same way because
we've got 5 soft tissue injuries today.
Right.
That's a lot for one team.
Y'all seen CD work. Y'all see how he get it in.
You have not seen
around with his body
after a holdout because this is the first time CD has.
Trust me. Y'all saw how Zeke was down in Cowboy running
in not been in camp.
CD out there putting their work in. You ain't got to worry about CD being top form.
I know that's your boy.
Hurt in no shape, form, or fashion since he's been Cowboy.
That's your boy.
Hey, he also ain't been holding out. So it's one thing to be training, and it's one thing to be going full speed. So you have to take in consideration that, and this is why I go back to what I say about paying somebody that much money, because you're gonna pay somebody that much money and they end up coming back being hurt. It happens to us all the time. Just go back and look. I'm telling you.
What you saying, but I think CD on a different time. CD trying.
Hey, look here. It don't do you no good to get that bag if you got a limp to the bank.
Hey, for him that limp is good.
They still got a cash.
Hey, he limping from that pocket being heavy.
You got a limp
I don't think y'all got nothing to worry about with CD, bro. He out there. He gonna do his thing. You got to worry about if he get seen with the boy number 4.
We're gonna see, man. Because like I said, that's my only fear about it.
I mean, hey, we ain't got him. Then we know we're gonna be drafting in the top 5.
Hey, that's my problem. I feel like we still gonna win games, and I feel like we won't be in the top 5.
Now with this together, we ain't.
For sure, we still win games.
If nothing else, our defense will keep us in games.
Our defense good.
Just enough to lose at the end.
Hey, we just have. Oh well, I have to say this. I think even if we got to win from 15 to 14 games, I don't care as long as we win. But I really, personally speaking, I'm not overly optimistic about the season. I am overly optimistic that we will have a positive record at the end of this. I'm not sure what that's going to be because our schedule, we got a rough schedule by any means of imagination. And, we need everybody we can get to try to improve upon that record. But personally, I feel that we are not maybe a 12-5 team like we've been the last 3 seasons, but I feel that we'll be playoff worthy and we'll make the playoff. What happens after that, we'll see.
Man, I don't know. It's gonna be rough with and without CD, I think, unless we have somebody who really emerges and be a super impact player. I don't know if it could be Cooks. I don't know if it can be.
Cooks used to be a number 1.
He did, and Cooks was legit, but Cooks
okay, look at your concern. Let's look last year to where we are right now. We've lost some offensive line players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, one of the most important, but then he was aging anyway.
It was only one, and that whatever you talking about us losing, so we only lost one.
Okay, that one,
and he was replaced to me.
And I'm looking.
He was replaced.
My point is, I'm looking at how we played on this past weekend. Granted, that was a preseason game, but you can look at a line, whether it be offensively or defensively, and tell whether you got something there. So what I'm basing my thoughts on and my prediction on is the fact that we virtually, besides those 1 or 2 players, got the same team that went 12-5 3 years in a row. That didn't leave. All we're worried about is the teams around us who have improved. Now, have we improved? Well, I know we didn't improve, but are we able to compete with them at the level with their new level of players and new rosters is the big question. But personally, Jerry Jones said we're all in. No, we weren't all in because we didn't do jack as far as free agency concerned. But we still have the core of our team together, and that's big. With the exception of the CD holding out right now, we still have the core of that team. We still have the same coach. We still have all the same coaches. That's the only difference I see is what everybody else did. So it comes down to a matter of whether we are able to compete to that level to be able to keep up with what they've done going forward. And I personally think we can. Could we have gotten some more free agency to help us out? Yes. But we've also got some talented players that we see that we didn't have or we didn't know we had if they were on the roster last year. Those guys seem like they want to step up. That's what I'm basing my prediction on. I just don't think it's a gloom and doom type of year like a lot of people are painting, like all the analysts are saying. The Cowboys are going to be terrible. They're going to be this. I don't see that. I'm going to have to see that on the field proven to me before I believe it.
It's gonna really come down to them trenches, like I always say. With Cooper Beebe hopefully getting that center spot. Tyler Smith gonna be at the I don't know, they're gonna put him keep him at the right guard, or they're gonna put Tyler Guyton at the left tackle. But either way, the interior line should be stout no matter who's in there. And their run game is really gonna dictate the success of the offense to me. If we can establish that and have a balanced attack to help Dak out and hopefully free up the receivers even more, in the tight ends, I'm just hoping that's going to be the tail of the tape.
Yeah, I mean, we worked on the offensive line for this offseason. BB in practice, they say that he's having trouble snapping the ball. So I don't really think that's who we need to be looking at. I think Hoffman's supposed to be the guy. I don't really know much about him. I've seen BB's tape. I like more what I've seen from his tape.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we do need to get back to the running game to help Dak not have to throw 40 and 50 times in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that'll help him cut down on his turnovers. So maybe why we feel the way we feel about Dak.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get back to that, like Uncle Tyrone was saying earlier to me today, he said, if Dak can never get back to the running game we had in year 1 and 2, we might be a problem. And that's true. But I told him also, too, Zeke was in his prime.
And the line was in his prime. Travis Frederick
right.
was imposed.
And I feel like Zeke didn't let his body heal to where he would have been now still dominant in the league.
Yep.
But look at this. I know we tried, well, not we, y'all, try to avoid any talk about number 4. But I want to say this. The man's been in the league for what, 7, 8 years now?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't survive in the NFL, especially at the level that he survived, without gaining knowledge along the way. I think that this year we're going to see a Dak Prescott that we've probably not seen before, and it may not be because of the person that he is. Situations are going to dictate that he has to be a level better. And I really think that he's ready to accept that challenge. I think that the knowledge that he's amassed over the years, you can't, whatever you say about Dak Prescott, you can't challenge his work ethic, because that's one of the hardest working quarterbacks in the NFL in terms of putting in the work, learning, being there, first person there, last person lead. You can't question his work ethic. There's few better in the league that has a better work ethic. I really think that we're going to see a different level of Dak this year that's going to fit in with the type of team that we got. I really think he's going to help lift this team up this year to do some things that a lot of people saying that we're not going to be able to do. That's just my personal feeling.
I'm gonna start out. I'm gonna start out and give him an open hand. Like I'm giving him an upper hand because our receiving core, we don't know what it's gonna be yet. Um, Running back, we don't know what's going to be yet because, of course, we didn't run the ball in the preseason to see what we have outside of Zeke. Of course, we don't know what Zeke's going to bring to the table either. So I'm gonna give him an upper hand. Like if we make it to the playoffs still, hey, that's pretty big because we don't know. We don't know what's being brought to the table for him in terms of succeeding because your so-called GM, your so-called owner didn't go out and do what they were supposed to do in terms of getting him the weapons to succeed for his last year in a contract.
So let me get this right. You, with the current situation how it is for Dak, you would be satisfied with him just making the playoffs.
Depending on how it looked.
Okay, let's say we go 13-4 or whatever.
No, see, if he win 13 games, that's different because the strength of schedule.
11-6. Make the playoffs, wild card again.
No, if we no, okay, I see where you're going with this. Okay, if he barely makes the playoffs, then I'm kind of satisfied at his performance based off of how it looks. Now, if we go 13 and whatever, then we fall short in the playoffs. No, I'm not satisfied because you was able to win in a tough conference and a tough schedule and win 13 games. No, I would not be satisfied. So it depends on how it looks.
2 points. First, that doesn't have to be necessarily due to that didn't happen. The second point I want to make is that you're basing what you just said on past performances. If we make the playoff this year, we're making it under different circumstances. What are the different circumstances? One, we did nothing in free agency.
Right.
Two, everybody around the Dallas Cowboys did a lot in free agency. So if we make the playoff, I'm not talking the NFC Championship game or anything else. If we make the playoff, we got to put things in perspective based on what our situation is. You just can't create new situations as we go along. Right now, today, where we sit, we make the playoffs. We've done a damn good job considering the fact that we didn't make any free agency moves and everybody around us did. Go ahead.
But you can't win 13 games and make the playoffs and then say that that's the expectation for you because you won 13 games. So therefore, maybe Jerry's seen something we didn't. So, and maybe he was all in based off of what he saw based off our roster. So winning 13 games mean that we had what it took to win it all with our schedule.
Go ahead, Brad.
Like I said last year, man, I honestly thought that was one of the best assembled rosters that we had, the whole situation in a long while. It was very disappointing how we tailed off towards the end like that, man. And then the Packers thing was just a slap in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a bad way to end the season like that, man. And to finish in the position that we did, and all we did to win the division, all that stuff like that. That's a very hard taste to get out your mouth, man. Paul.
Yeah, but not to take away nothing from the Packers either, because I mean they actually peaked at the right time too. Their quarterback found themselves. They running game. Aaron Jones had just came back. Their receiving core was young.
Bottom line,
cornerbacks young. Their whole team was young, but they put it together at the right time. So. And for the instance, I don't put them down, but for the instance for us to how we was evolving also throughout the season, it was disappointing. And your quarterback didn't show up.
I don't think our coaches had us prepared for that game last year, which is why I'm going to go over to this year and saying we don't know that won't happen again. It doesn't have to be Dak. It doesn't have to be our offensive line. It doesn't have to be our wide receivers. We could lose simply based on the type of coaching. And seeing that play like happened last week, that no-brainer play, I'm not optimistic about how we will be coached this year. I'm more optimistic about our talent and how they'll perform on the field than how we will be coached. McCarthy has not given me a reason. Yes, 3-12-5 seasons, that's fine. Even during those, he tried to find ways to lose games for us.
I honestly think he's the reason for the success that we have had. Honestly,
Right.
he's masking a lot of problems that we got. Like, we got to really give him his prop. It's some of these last few years we had the record we had, we shouldn't have had that.
Trust me,
the offense has been
not trying to
overperforming.
minimize the job that he's done, because 3-12-5 season is nothing to sneeze at. But we also seen him make a lot of mistakes over the course of the years, and we can't ignore that. I'm just saying, going forward, we need to keep things in perspective based on the team that we are, based on what our prospects are, and looking at what's happening around us. We can't ignore what other teams are doing, in terms of what the successes will be. We've got to recognize that everybody that we play got better in some form of fashion. We can't say that we did that. We're hoping that what we had is enough to take us forward and to overcome what these guys have done. And that's a big mountain to climb. I'm just saying, we just need to keep everything in perspective and call a spade and recognize what we got, whether it be coaching, whether it be players, all the above, in terms of what our success is going to be going forward.
I feel you on that, man. I hope you're right, man. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We appreciate y'all joining us on another Whiskey Wednesday, and we'll catch y'all in the next session. Until next time.